Yo, what is up guys? Stelboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So, a minor upset in the Super Bantamweight division. Shabaz Masoud defeats Liam Davies by a split decision to win the IBO Super Bantamweight title. Going into this fight, I think it's fair to say Liam Davies was the relatively big favourite. Liam Davies going into this fight had fought the better competition, both at domestic and European level. Liam Davies had fought guys like Baluta, Jason Cunningham, La Famina, even like Eric Robles Ayala, who beat Lee McGregor the fight before. He'd fought a much better competition than Shabaz Masoud. And from what I had seen of Shabaz Masoud prior, there were moments in his fights where he looked quite impressive, like the Yohan Boyo fight, the Jack Bateson fight. But for me, he never really impressed me all that much. And especially in the Jose San Martin fight where, that fight was very close. He was very fortunate that night and didn't look all that great. So going into this fight, you had two guys, both unbeaten. Liam Davies 16-0, Shabaz Masoud 14-0. You had two unbeaten guys, two guys with a lot of confidence, but Liam Davies had fought at a much higher level of competition and obviously put in some good performances, scored some good knockouts. So yeah, going into this fight, he was considered the favourite, and I felt he was the favourite to be honest on paper, but on fight night, these guys looked, to me, a couple of levels apart. Shabaz Masoud, in my opinion, by the way, I don't know how this fight was a split decision. I felt Masoud won this fight pretty comfortably. For me, he was the guy who was in control of the rounds. I felt like he was the guy who was comfortable. He was the guy who was fighting his fight. Whereas Liam Davies, for me, he was trying to force his work too much. I felt you saw in this fight clear signs of frustration. Hence, like the rabbit punching and things like that. He always looked frustrated. He always looked pent up and stiff for me. And like I said, he was just trying to force his work way too much. He was trying too hard almost, whereas Masoud was more relaxed. He was quicker. His reactions were better. And ultimately, he just kind of outboxed, out counterpunched, and outskilled Liam Davies as far as I'm concerned. Liam Davies made some rounds close, because of the work rate, because of the aggression. But a lot of his work was very messy, was cuffing. There were moments in this fight where he had success. But the thing is, even when Liam Davies did have success, I never really felt he had a round where you felt to yourself, yeah, that was a big Liam Davies round. Like, he really took control of that round. The rounds where he did have success, Masoud was still answering. He was still doing his thing as well. And the rounds Masoud won were clear, in my opinion. Super clear. But yeah, the type of fight this was going to be was set out early. Liam Davies, from the first round, tried to be the aggressor. He tried to take the front foot approach and walk down Masoud. But he was doing it with little care for defense. His guard was too porous. Lead hand was too low at times. And he was coming in straight lines all night long. No head movement, no feints, no level changes, no jabs, no double jabs. He was just coming in and trying to swing away. Whereas Shabaz Masoud was just taking the half step back, touching with a jab, following through with a straight left hand. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. And if that happens for a round or two, fair enough. But we saw tonight that Liam Davies isn't close to world level. There was talks of him maybe getting a world title fight in the near future. But we saw in this fight he's not close to world level, because if he's anywhere near world level, he would react to that and make the necessary adjustments. Because Masoud was baiting him in time and time again. He was just taking advantage of that front foot, face first, head on centre line, come forward approach. Masoud was pinging him with the left hand, rocking the head back several times, spinning him, making him reset. Even when Liam Davies had Masoud against the ropes, I felt Masoud did a pretty good job of like covering up and countering on the ropes. Even then, Liam Davies couldn't really have the success he was hoping for. And, you know, there were moments in this fight Liam Davies got pickpocketed by Shabaz Masoud on the inside, on the ropes, where Masoud would cover up and roll and block shots and counter. And when it was in centre ring, when Masoud was taking a half step back, he was walking him into straight lefts all night long. And really that was the whole fight, to be quite frank. I'm not going to go through it round by round by round, but that was basically the whole fight in my opinion. Liam Davies won a couple of rounds with the aggression when Masoud wasn't quite as active. There was one moment, I think it was round 10, where Liam Davies hit Masoud, I think, with a left hook, where it looked like Masoud had a little reaction, like a little bit of a reaction, but nothing too serious. Aside from that, I don't really remember any real major success for Liam Davies. He just had a few moments here and there, you know. Tried to apply the pressure, tried to work hard, but he was outsped, he was outboxed, he was out-countered, like I said. The southpaw lead of Masoud was money all night long. The jab, it wasn't even the jab from Masoud, that's the thing, it was mainly the straight left. But yeah, good distance control by Masoud, the best I've seen him. And yeah, it's something for him to build upon now. And he's put himself in a good position in the super bantamweight division. We'll see what he does next. If I was him, if I was managing him, I would try to hold off until Inoue moves up maybe, because he's not beating Inoue, but you know, there's some good fights out there for him. TJ Dehaney, who recently fought Inoue, I think that could be a good fight for Shabaz Masoud. I think that could be a good fight right now for him. Who knows, man? Maybe even the winner of Dennis McCann versus Peter McGrail. That fight goes down in Saudi Arabia on the Fury Usyk card. I think Masoud versus the winner of that fight, that'd be very good. I think that's the fight I'd like to see most, to be honest. But yeah, Masoud's put himself in line for some good fights, whereas Liam Davies now has to rebound. He has to rebuild. He was found wanting for me. Yeah, he tried hard, but for me this fight was a clear gap in skill between the two. And Liam Davies has to put any ambition of world level fights on the shelf for now. He needs to go back to the drawing board and you know, step back a couple of levels and go again, essentially. But, you know, Masoud, on the other hand, he puts himself in a good position, so we'll see what he does next. Good fight, relatively entertaining. Masoud, clear winner, in my opinion. And we'll see what happens next. Anyway, share your thoughts below. Beanie Guy Del Boy, peace!